Alright guys, I'm going to be setting up here in just a second. And tonight we are going to be coloring this Darkstalkers piece. So let me get y'all put over here on the tripod. Now get you set up. And then I gotta get the comments running, so give me just a second. Boink. And I have to mute it too, so hold on. Let's refresh this page. There we go. We are live. Hello, hello, hello. I know you enjoyed looking at my arm. That was probably fun. Oh, I've got a buffer. Buffer. It's buffering. There it goes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. For those of you just now joining in, I penciled and inked this image up last night. And then I scanned it into my computer, fixed a few things, like I had to fix this with paint and whatnot, so I did a little more touching up on the computer so I could go and put her to color. Hello! And then I printed it out on my favorite board to work on, which is Eon Comic Art Board. And now we're going to be working with Copic markers. And there's a big delay, so you guys just bear with me. But if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you hear any sounds in the background, because I'm trying to keep it all at a minimum. No, I'm not typing, not that talented. Although I do at some point want to be all like, I am typing all of these responses with my toes. Now this is Simone. She is my apprentice / assistant. She and I are kind of a two-person studio unit. Any kind of bookings or anything, go through Miss Simone. Commissions, or if I just can't get to the computer quick enough. Forget to look at it that day. Tonight, we're coloring Morgan from Darkstalkers. I always said it was more like an apprenticeship between the two of us. I mean, I know that you're doing, you know, stuff with helping with bookings and whatnot, but I'm still also assisting you you know, on your personal art stuff and things like that. So I'll call that an apprenticeship. Hi, Brian. Oh, Brian is also a mod. Uh-oh, now it's going to just get majorly confusing. Thanks, Facebook. I personally don't play the game, but I like her design. And I remember her in like the Capcom versus Marvel game console at the arcade. Hi! She's fun. I like all of her wings. Me too. Me too. The wings are cool. Like around the head and then the two on the bottom. She's a really neat design. Guys, it's easier for me to color faces upside down. Let those colors sink in. So how's everybody doing tonight? Simone or Brian, can you guys hear the sound in the background? I don't want to say anything because I don't want Facebook to be like, oh my god, she said the M word, we got to block her video. I have it so low that I can barely hear it, but you never know. Okay, what colors did I pick out? Okay. Just measure. Because I do actually have a pair of Bluetooth headphones that I could put on. And I could totally blast out, but then I'd be screaming at you guys. Plus, they're not charged. So I might just find a cord and charge them. And then just next time be screaming at you guys. This is really awesome. I'm using some Copic markers. It's gonna be great. But I needed something in the background. We did not. Ooh, we forgot about that, didn't we? I know that one of my older Vampy pieces now pops up when you do a Google search of Vampirella on the first pages. Really old Vampy piece. Yeah, Dynamic Comics. Actually, Samantha had done this some time ago too. She was like saying that we needed to reach out to them, and I think you even sent us like a link to their submissions and stuff like that, if I believe correctly. And we were all like, "Yeah, we're still gonna do it." And then you know what? I will go ahead and admit that I totally brain farted about that. Just because, yeah, been kind of having stuff like falling off curbs and spraining my ankle real bad. Although, you guys, I'm hobbling around the house. It looks really sad. I am like little gimpy gimps trying to limp around the house. I'm like, I'm going to be walking by Emerald City. I'm going to be walking by Pentagon. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be able to do stairs and do everything. No, it hurts really bad. Oh no, I can now stand on 2 feet. So that's awesome. It's just putting pressure on my foot now. That's just a pain. But it's getting there. And I still need to go to physical therapy and all of that stuff. Because the doctor's like, if I don't go to physical therapy, stuff won't heal. Right? Like, let's put it this way. I sprained my ankle so bad that if I was an athlete, they would have done surgery to it. So, but you know, I kind of didn't want my kids playing in traffic, so that's what happened. I just slipped off the curb chasing rugrats and getting old as a bee. Oh, thanks, Jason. I'm sorry. Here I am just like blah 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 blah. A lot of times, unless it's like, this one doesn't really have a background. This is more of a kind of a portrait study. So I'm not doing like extreme light sources. I'll probably do the main light source, which is coming from like around this soft light general direction. And I'll go ahead and say it's just because I want to be able to shade the nose correctly and not have any difficulties. I know that sounds like totally lame, but, because this is a simple kind of a portrait image, I'm not going to go way crazy. Now, if it was another image that had a full background that called for me to have a light source, usually what I do is I get, and I can do it with this one if I can find my drafting dots, or any little sticker glue. Okay. I have these little drafting dots, and I'll be like, burp, to remind myself where my light source is, because I can take that off. But then I have that there to just, you know, be something in my head. Right there is my visual representation of where my light is going to be, so I don't forget. And then, of course, you can always do, like, for some I've done, like, the whole one, like your main light, and then I've ripped them in half and done, like, secondary light on the bottom and stuff like that. Even been so much as like if I want to do different color lights, like scribbled a color on top of one of these and put them there. So that just kind of gives you like a little something. And I know it's like really cheesy, but it's just how you know, that's how I figure out where I want my light and then just go from there. Well, no, it's true. You could get in trouble. You could get asked to stop. Originals are not a bad deal, but if you look at it this way, I do fan art stuff at shows simply just to get people to my table because no one's going to come over to something they don't know and that they're not familiar with. And it's kind of a necessary evil. I don't quite like doing it, but we're also filtering in my own stuff. I also have worked for a lot of these companies, so, you know, a lot of times either we have an agreement or we don't, and I'll be under contract of whether I can or cannot do things. But if you look at the major two, the big two that everybody usually references, which is Marvel and DC, they're not sending out cease and desist letters to me because I'm not large fry enough to really hurt their pocketbook. I mean, really, you're looking at DC and Disney because Marvel's owned by Disney. So I'm not really impacting their sales. Now, if I get a job in the future, I'll have a contract and I'll have restrictions and other things. And then I can also get the licensings from them. Samantha, everybody's going to be blasting this poor man after this feed. So that's something to also take into account is, you know, how much of an impact does your artwork have on the, you know, major community. But also, you know, don't just go, hey, I'm just going to draw fan art and I'm just going to do, you know, TNA shots so I can make some money and things like that. No, just, you know, take characters and draw them up differently and then filter in your own stuff and be like, oh, if, hey, you came to this table, you like this, here's my book. And that's how you're able to kind of add on to your sales and stuff at shows. Don't do your stuff for free. Even if just starting at $5, don't give away free stuff. Because then everybody expects it to be free in the future. Plus, I'm also drawing things that I like. Like, I love this character. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. She's just like, she's beautiful, but she's like freaky at the same time. And I love characters like that. Like, I love monsters and things, but usually my monsters end up being really cute. Or extremely disturbing. Ask Simone. There's no happy medium with me. I'm either like, oh, it's adorable or pretty, or it's just gross. It is very true. I think she's a happy medium. She's a kind of a monster. I think she's a succubus. Or a vampire. What is this? She's a succubi. Oh, the phone's all happy and proud. Yeah, I thought Morrigan was from King Arthur and stuff. Or something. Definitely not from Willow. Man Morgan! Sorry. My nerd card showing. My old nerd card showing. Gosh, I had such a crush on Val Kilmer in that movie. For those of you youngins. Yeah, I thought it was, yeah. Okay, so I had it wrong. I'm referencing Willow. Someone's a bit of a fan. So it's like, I know who this is. Get it, girl. I just like the characters are designed so fun, like with her wings and stuff, and then like what with Queen Bee, she's just got that big old bee sting on her butt. It's like the girl can't sit down, but it's okay because it's a video game. It doesn't really make sense. Doesn't have to. Oh no. He's not in here verbally going crazy. There he is. That's my husband. Oh no! Shane! Look what you made me do! You're not in the room. It's all your fault. See, all the more reason that she's just super duper cool. Can you guys see it? Is it focusing? Yeah, if you saw, I've stopped. I did 2 layers with her skin, and then I stopped with her skin, and then I did her bodysuit and her wings. Now you see me going back with the skin tone. It doesn't take long to let this stuff dry. But you saw that the paper did soak in some of this, and now I'm going in still with light tones. But I'm doing some stronger shading work. Laying in some of my harsher shadows. And this is the more saturated because I'm using a red. But the paper itself just did some, you know, just did some work with absorbing the skin. And yeah, it's still, the Copics are still reactivating it when I go back on top of them with this R00 now. And if I want to blend it out, I'm going to bring back my yellow red, which I just refilled, so it's really like everywhere. Sorry, she's got the pear. No problem. That's what she's got. Don't wear it out. Yeah, I'm curious about how are people finding the link to the Facebook videos. Yes, there is a How to Draw Comics group that Simone shared the link because apparently I think it's a pretty big group, right? I don't know. I wasn't familiar with it. Yay! Take shape from flat paper. I'm trying to zoom in on her face and they just like overpower everything. Take it, Jake. It's great to see them take shape from flat paper. Oh, I love you so much. I'm dead. That's awesome. And see how mucky my markers are. Coloring takes a while to get used to, too. And color theory and all of that stuff. I would say Copics, Copics are very expensive. You can get similar effects with other markers that are not as expensive. And I do believe that they actually have Copics makes the one markers they're like smaller and they're a little bit more cost effective. I think they're an alternative for these big sketch markers. The one thing I will say is that they are refillable, so that's cool. That's why you see my markers like so gunky, is because I've refilled it in a rush and just went with ink everywhere, but it's still very, very pricey. If he's interested in coloring with anything, I would say first get him a set of grays. And any marker. He can use Faber-Castell. They're water-based, so if you wanted, you could color with the marker, and then you could do the fun effects that you see me doing with rubbing alcohol with water, with the ink and things like that. So I mean, there's alternatives. He doesn't have to go out and get Copics, which, you know, just to put it in perspective, these are about $6 to $7, even up to $8 per marker. And then you've got the refills and whatnot, because if you can imagine how many markers you go through on one image alone, it's a lot. So, you know, it gets pricey. If you are looking at getting him any kind of art, you know, stuff later on down the road, I recommend the merryartist.com, MERRI, little mom and pop shop. They have the best prices, especially for Copic marker stuff. Yep, Prismacolors are really good markers as well. Faber-Castell, I'm not really good at... I know, it's just where I get all of my art supplies. It really is. I mean, because I can't find the stuff that I use. Because I use more drafting things and then the Copics and stuff like that. And it's just, you can't really go to a hobby place and find that. You can find it in an art store, but I don't really have an art store near me. But, yeah, there's a bunch of markers out there. But the difference between Copics and a lot of the other markers is that these are alcohol-based versus the other ones are usually water-based. But, you know, I know sometimes people see me working with Copics and it seems quite easy. So you go out and spend like $300 on a whole set and then it doesn't make sense. and you don't understand how the colors coordinate with one another and things like that, and it can be overwhelming because there's so many. And the amount of Copics that I have is pretty much enough for a down payment on a car. Colored pencils are fun. Again, like I said, you know, you can always get the other water-based markers. I mean, it really is a fun medium to try to play with. Water-based does, and usually the reason with the water is because you have to treat it more like watercolor, and it just kind of eats the paper. So the fast-drying alcohol tends to blend pretty easily, but with water-based markers, you use fewer layers to build up. I have not. I was told about it, but I haven't checked it out. Right now, it's not really easy for me to get around. The paper that I'm using right now is Eon Comic Artboard. We'll probably get a link up there so you guys can check it out. Very nice, bright paper. Makes your colors look really vivid. I do not. I had a glass of wine earlier, so right now I have a cup of coffee. If I had a glass of wine right now, I'd be like snore. I'll be like, Jen, what the heck are you doing? I feel like I'm going to sleep. ¿Tú hablas inglés? Muy poquito español. I'm not very good at speaking Spanish. I understand it. Thank you for saying that you like it. It's sad. Yeah, I have two parents who are bilingual. I've never tried Canton paper. I used Bristol for a very long time. Yes, it does accept the ink really well. One of my other guests, there's no store in Jacksonville. Simone posted the Eon Comic Art Store and the Merry Artist. And Simone's my assistant and admin. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. See, I'm already forgetting. I need more coffee. Yeah, I've heard of that store. It was when I was walking around Michael's and I was asking a bunch of questions and they were looking at me like, who are you? This was like before Christmas. But it was right after the hurricane, so I couldn't get to that store. Darn hurricanes. I do too need more coffee. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Yes, coffee is a must in the morning for me, definitely. So you have two kids who hate sleep. I have two kids who love mornings. Like way too much. Is he getting on you? I have to talk with him. Cool. Good plan. That's a good plan that you're avoiding it. And yeah, I've got two littles, 7 and 4. My 7 is about to turn 8. They don't stay up that late, which is nice. But they do like to wake up. They also walk in their sleep sometimes, which that's fun. But yeah, when the sun comes out at, like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm hungry! It's time to get up, the sun is shining! I know, Jesus. Mom sleep. It needs a break. Let's do these. Good luck. We salute you. Have fun playing whack-a-mole. Go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. Simone kind of experiences life with children through work conversations with me. Yes. Yes. And probably considers herself very lucky. See? Don't even try to hide it. No, you kids are great. Just like, nope, nope. So right. High five. Tapping out. Talk to you later. I love it. Thank you, David. Oh, sorry, David. I didn't see that. I work primarily with Copics. Watercolors are out of my expertise. It's the lack of control, which makes them beautiful, but it's just very hard for me to do that. Though I like to paint with alcohol inks. Weird, I know. So weird. The honestly, I just find skinny brushes. I don't know, like, I just try to find ones that are really thin. The one that I was using on the last one, I actually like made the mistake and dropped it. But I'll just get like paintbrush packs. Now that's where I am cheap. I don't get really expensive brushes because I'm not really, I don't paint. So I will say my lack of experience just has me going dee dee dee. I'm just gonna get this pack over here in the cardboard, and I get the pack, and then I pick out the really skinny ones, and I use those to paint, and just make sure I clean the brushes really well. And because all I'm doing is really just trying to make lines on the paper. Because usually the white is for, you know, the really stark highlights in the clothes and in the hair, maybe some dots on the skin here and there, and then that's it. The pencil helps with the rendering with the soft light. You get that pretty blur kind of soft highlight without it being too harsh. The paint ends up actually being very harsh if you use it too much. The paint is the Copic Opaque White that I use for the highlights. And then the pencils, I either just use a regular charcoal white, general store, I think they're $1, and a whole bunch of them, or like a pastel, just something I can put on there and smudge. Because you see, even though I left like spots for the highlights and stuff, there's only a few that are like true white marks, you know. Most of it is, you know, colored over. And you really do only get those really bright spots like this on stuff that's like a latex type of material. Leather. Sequins, you know, things like that. Although everybody's different, you know. I've been watching some artists who like to do the nib pins with some sort of white. I don't know if it's like the Windsor ink or something like that, but I haven't been able to find one that colors that brightly myself. So I'm still testing those out. Leather's fun, but it's just, again, finding your light source and keeping it in mind. That's why a sticker always helps. Now comes the fun parts. It's just adding in colors that are not, like right now I'm adding in shadows that are purple on her skin instead of all of the reds and the yellows. Now, some of them I will blend out, but for the most part they're just harsh shadows. Well, thank you. No, just never stop. Just trust what I'm doing. Oh, should I sit down? You guys kind of see her. Nope. Hold on. Dilly dilly. No, it's really weird. It's this, the coloring upside down is just a personal way for me to trick the eye and to stop looking at her face as a face and to start looking at it as the shapes that have built it. I know that sounds really weird, but it's just it's a trick for myself. Kind of like the old turning your artwork upside down or flipping it to find all your mistakes. That's just art 101 right there. That's no fun. I hate doing that. Sorry, I'm getting all up in my artwork. And now we'll flip it back over. According to Facebook, I don't. Wink, 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 wink. Yeah, if I... It's just because all the music that I have isn't stolen. It's just a big pain in the butt. They're like, the music you are listening to is licensed, so you're not allowed to share your video. I'm like, you guys are no fair. I follow the rules, now I'm being punished for it. They probably would mute those too. So pretty much anything that's copyrighted and sold and owned and all of that stuff, they are like, nope. Which I understand in a way. At the same time, it's like, chill out on Facebook. Oh gosh, hun. I started out with a base of YR000 Pale Chiffon, or YR Quad Zero, then YR000 Silk. Then I graduated to I believe R11, using YR Quad as a blender, then R20, then V20, and that's it so far, but it's not done. I wasn't shouting them out either. I just went as I went. Basically, for me, I found go-tos that I'm comfortable with. Some people use more, some people use less. Really all depends. Even on her lips, I just used a fluorescent on her lips. I mean, it's whatever you have fun with. I love the fluorescents. They're so much fun. Sorry, I'm trying to think of something really quick. This one, pausing. Her hair is looking too green. I'm going to introduce a different blue that will blend well. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Yeah, the stories of starting over and over. And hearing me say over and over again, learn from your mistakes. I've done it. I've had it where I've messed up so royally bad that I almost wanted to throw a tantrum. I just kind of pranced around, said a few curse words, turned off the light, and then approached it again the next day. It's just like... But, you know, you learn. That's just part of it. And tell you how many times I've started over. Well, yeah, I scan the inks, and then after I scan the inks, then I like for this is not the original inks. This is a printout of the original inks, and so now I can color this. So if I was like going here and I just happened to like spill stuff all over it and I wasn't able to fix it, then I would just start all over. Which, you know, I mean, it's not fun, but you learn. So. I'm doing some color tests over here on this side if you guys are wondering what clicking sound is. Nope. Need an equally vibrant color. Wish me luck. Yay, it worked! I mean, I have, but I don't really understand computers. So, and if you have any doubts about that, just ask Simone. Yeah, I can smooth stuff out and I can get it ready to go to print, but I'm not tech savvy, so I don't really know all the, you know, Photoshop's got so many bells and whistles, it's ridiculous, and it's awesome, but just to me, it's overwhelming. I can't wrap my head around it. Ooh, it looks so pretty now. I like the purple and I have. So pretty. That sounds so silly. But yeah, I mean, I'm using Photoshop for the extreme basics. I'm not even using a fancy Photoshop program. I'm using Elements because it was the cheapest. So but I'm an artist that learns through getting their hands dirty. I can't I don't absorb the information very well when it's done digitally. That's awesome. Hopefully my face isn't getting all up in here. Had a moment of, where's my phone? Yeah, really. Sorrow. I just got way into it. I found a new favorite color combo. I might. I can feel myself starting to get tired. It was probably pushing around 10 o'clock or something. But I am excited about this. V06 and Fluorescent Dual BG. It's a fun color combo. Yeah, that's why I'm getting tired. Sometimes. Not all the time, though. With these, they tend to pick up the darker color. See, like, I just did that, and now I'm going to go over with a lighter color and blend it out. And my nib's fine. But, like, if it was really, really dark, then yeah, your nib would get destroyed. Thankfully, though, your nibs are replaceable, so... They do. so shiny. She does the herbal. I don't know if anybody remembers that commercial. Oh, I'm so old. Why are you so old? Okay, I think I'm going to let her dry some. Give my markers a little bit of a rest too before I try to attack these big spots over here. So you guys got to really see all the skin prep and stuff that I do when it comes to coloring skin. Hold on 1 second, let me bring this over. So you guys can get a little bit closer. Wow, fire the camera person. So yeah, get a little bit more of an idea of the look. Is kind of hard when you see it at an angle. Sorry folks, I'm going to be calling it a night because it is very late. But this all, her face is pretty much finished unless I see something that I want to fix in the morning. And all of her skin tone is pretty much done. The hair, I found a fun combo. But you see I still have to finish the rest of the hair and all of this down here. And then some more rendering in the clothes and stuff to kind of make the colors pop. But yeah, there you go. She's pretty much getting close to being finished. Thanks you guys for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to have a good night. Take care.